Khan, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom also to the one-third Israelites, which include the Judas children, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Indians, who are still oppressed together according to the book of Jeremiah 50 and 33, but to whom still lay pretended the adoption, the giving of the law, the promises, the glory, the covenants, according to the book of Romans chapter 9. Okay, and this is how we know also that we have the truth, okay, by all these discoveries, by all these archaeological and physical proof what you have, okay? Because if you read Exodus 15 and 4, the scripture says, Pharaoh's chariots and his host had he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. Okay, and it says Red Sea here, and guess what we have here, okay? Chariot wheels discovered in the Red Sea, okay? Of course, these pictures are not real, the pictures what you want to see if you know the history, okay? Because if you go into the Sudanese people, you will see that these were the Egyptians, okay? And the Sudanese people are not that light-skinned, okay? Even if you have these lighter-skinned people in Egypt right now, which don't belong there, basically in the first place, that just means that they are not the original Egyptians, but they just live there right at the moment. Just like the Lord's chosen people are right now not in their land, okay? But we are still the land, if Yahweh calls us by our name, which is Israel, which is Jacob, because Jacob, his name was later changed to Israel. Okay, so the picture under this first picture is basically kind of like wrong, and the picture above is also kind of like wrong, because for example, okay, our people were known to be so-called dark-skinned, okay? And that's just what it is, whether you like it or not, doesn't matter, okay? But even easy history tells us how people in this time, in these places, looked like, okay? So that makes no sense. If it comes to the Bible, then all of a sudden all the people were so-called white-skinned. That makes no sense, okay? Come. So basically, Moses crossing the Red Sea on dry ground is not a myth, you see. People want to say, oh, there was no flood, oh, there was no sea dividing, Red Sea dividing, okay. The Bible records that a huge number of Hebrew slaves escaped the wrath of Egypt through the parted waters of the Red Sea. The Bible also details the destruction of Pharaoh's army as walls of seawater crashed down upon them. Is there any real proof that the biblical account of the Exodus actually happened? How can we know that this is more than just a child's story? Nevada Beach. The story began in 1978 when a man by the name of Ron Ward charactered a small airplane and was flying over the Sea of Aqaba, okay? Scripture tells you that Esau even looks for all these things, of course he puts it in the museum, and the most important things you will not see because it's just too much proof, okay? And everybody will believe in the Bible if you have so much proof out there. So of course he just puts the, some things out, but not everything, of course. Red Sea is out of Eliot, Israel. Wyatt was a part-time Bible explorer who was in the area on some archaeological research at the sites of Sodom and Gomorrah alongside of the Dead Sea. As he flew over Nineveh, Salachia real quick, As he flew over Nineveh Beach, he commented to the pilot, that looks like the area the Bible describes where Moses was trapped between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army. I need to go down there and take a closer look. Nineveh Beach, Egypt, is now a resort area along the coast of the Red Sea. When Wyatt drove to Nineveh Beach, he had to go through a long, winding canyon called the Wadi Virtue. He recalled how that Pharaoh had said there are entangled in the land, the wilderness has shut them in. Exodus 14:3. Once Moses and the Hebrews entered into the canyon, there was no escape. Soon the million or so escaping slaves were crowded onto a sandy beach. Before them lay the Red Sea. Behind them came one of the most powerful armies in the world. They were trapped between the mountains and the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army pursued again in his end days. It will look sometimes as if you were trapped by the newer Egypt, which is basically Edom, okay, or other heathens also. But Yahweh will make a way out, you see. Pharaoh's army pursued, thinking that an easy massacre was just hours away. They were right, but Pharaoh and his commanders had no way of knowing that they would be the ones destroyed by walls of water that loomed up nearly 900 feet on either side of them, you see. Beautiful, man, beautiful. Just imagine the waters left and right to you, man. The deep waters kind of like, you know, like a wall, and that high though, you know. It's different, man, okay? These wonders, especially in these last days, man, you will not believe if you don't see it sometimes, you know. So basically he found proof, you know, stone columns on both sides of the Red Sea. When Mr. Wyatt arrived at Nibiba Beach, he soon found evidence that this was in fact the very spot where Moses and his followers crossed the Red Sea. You see? So let's go into some scriptures real quick. Because that's the reason, really, okay, why he raised up Pharaoh, Salaki. Exodus 9:16. And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to shew in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. You see, so that's the real reason why Esau is being raised up like he is raised up right now, okay? And, you know, the other heathen. And that my name may be declared throughout all the earth, you see. Verse 17, you know, the context. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people. Okay, again, verse 17. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, you see. That thou wilt not let them go, okay, oppressing us systematically, okay. Which is not hard to see if you have any kind of, you know, what is it? If you're clever enough to have a job, then it's also possible for you to notice, okay? It's just what it is. Behold, verse 18. Tomorrow, about this time, I will cause it to rain a very curious hail, such as had not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. Okay, so this talks about Egypt. Okay, so we go verse by verse, basically. Okay, some people even think, oh, the Egyptians were like the chosen people and things like that. Okay, but the scripture tells you that there's a difference between the chosen people and the Egyptians. Okay, and we will get that in Exodus 11 and 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai doeth put a difference, you see, between the Egyptians and Israel, okay, because you might see the signs and things like that, okay. You think, oh, that's, you know, that's, you know, kind of like the Israelites, the same people, because they were so long in Egypt and things like that, you know, so they have to be the same people and things like that. No, okay, that's just not the case. Okay, but we will continue in the next lesson. See you. Okay, all praises to Yahweh, Baruch Shem Yahweh Shai, Baruch Shem HaKadosh Baruch Tam. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Okay, we see us in the next part, okay? Part 2, stone columns on both sides of the Red Sea. Basically, you found roof, you know it, okay, but we will go into the full article. Okay, continuing in the next part, basically. Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Baruch Shem Yahweh Shai, Baruch Shem HaKadosh Baruch Tam.